Hi, and welcome to Hanny's Harvest. It is July 31st, 2021, and the garden is totally wild. It is now out of my hands. Mother Nature has taken control, and I am just an active participant, observer at this point. So let me walk you around and just show you this beautiful chaos. I wanted to talk about which plants have grown really well and which ones I maybe wouldn't plant again, because at this point now I've gardened for a cool season and a hot season on this property, and so I've tried all of the normal types of plants that you might try at this point. And so now it's time to kind of assess what went well and what didn't go as well, and kind of think about this coming cool season and then next year and what I would want to try again. So let's start with the stuff that went super well. And I've just made a list here. So zucchini, summer squash, moonbeam squash, basically all of the squashes, and I would lump cucumbers in there too. They are just producing like crazy right now. I have so many zucchinis, so many cucumbers. It's great, but a little overwhelming also. So amazing on all those. Would plant again for sure. And all the winter squashes are great too. The butternuts and the pumpkins and stuff. I love that. I love that stuff for eating and also for decoration. Let's see, carrots. Carrots, in a way, I would say they did really well, but in a way they didn't do that great because of my soil. I think they just didn't get as large as I had hoped, and they took a long time to mature. So I think if I add more goodies to my soil next spring, that the carrot harvest will just get better and better. Peppers, my cayennes, bell peppers, and jalapenos are producing really, really well at this point. Now, it did take them a long time, and I even started them from seed inside way back in February. That is a long range crop for sure, and the jalapenos for some reason took longer than the other kinds, but still super worth it because pest pressure is fairly low for me, and we just love peppers and they store well. You can make a lot of things with them. Greens such as chard, lettuce, let's see, spinach, arugula, and kale. All that stuff, very easy, very good. Pest pressure for that would be mostly caterpillars for me, and BT seems to take care of that situation for the most part. Though I try not to spray all the time because I know some of those caterpillars are butterflies and some of them are beneficial moths and all of that. So greens for sure would do again. We really enjoy that. Kale especially and chard are easy to freeze and pull back out and cook with. Lots of herbs such as sage did great, and I'm hoping will become a perennial if it makes it through the winter. Things like thyme, those are pretty hardy as well. Chamomile, that is an annual, but wow, the chamomile was really stunning visually this summer. It's kind of died back at this point, but I harvested loads and loads of little flowers off of them to dry for tea. It's a great multi-purpose plant, you know, beautiful flowers, and also you can make tea out of it. There were a number of other herbs that have done really well also. Let's see. Eggplant. I would count eggplant among the things that did well. Now, they take a while to grow and then to set fruit. Again, I partly think that's because I planted them in a heavily mulched area where the mulch was probably taking nutrients away from the plants, which possibly stunted them. But they are putting on really pretty eggplants at this point. Sorry, it's so loud with the road right next to us. So that's cool. And they have lovely purple flowers with little yellow middles. I love that. Okay, obviously my onions and garlic, especially the garlic, did incredibly this year. I planted the garlic last November, started the onions in the winter inside under grow lights. I did not do much to either of those once they were in the ground, and I just want to give a shout out to the garlic especially because I didn't do much to it, and then when I harvested it, I let them dry outside for a week or a couple days or something, brought them in, and they're hanging, and I hope they last a while because I have no idea how I'm gonna cook all of it. But anyway, big success there. And then just a variety of flowers have done great for me. Not surprisingly, zinnias and marigolds. Most people grow those. The nasturtiums. People say you can eat nasturtium and cook with it. I did try it, and it kind of tastes like soap to me. Kind of like spicy soap. So, not sure I'll be using it for cooking. It's not bad. It's just nothing I'm too crazy about. Then last but not least, I mean, there's other things that have done well, but these are the most exciting ones, I guess, to me. So last but not least is mushrooms, which isn't technically a vegetable, but it was one of my experiments this year, and I got at least 2 flushes of those, I think it was oyster mushrooms, Italian oyster mushrooms, and still have lots of those dried in the pantry. Now let's talk about the plants that I'm reconsidering for next year. These are either ones that didn't grow that great for me, or just very difficult, or I just didn't end up eating them. So number 1 would be corn. Matt loves corn, so I did try growing a patch for him this year. It's tricky. Corn is real tricky with the pollination and the consistent watering. And the location that I've got it in is not good for me because I have to go down the hill carrying buckets of water. And frankly, that's not sustainable. So maybe I'll try again next year because corn is super fun to look at and to grow. It's easy to germinate, just the whole process of getting a nice corn cob is tricky, I feel like. So maybe I'll try again, but much closer to the house next time where I can take care of it. Next would be peas. For some reason my peas got, or their leaves turned yellow with a little black spots, so probably fungus. Don't quite know why. Otherwise it's an easy plant to grow, but the fungus disease definitely shortened their lifespan, and you have to plant so many of them to get a substantial amount of peas to eat that it just takes a lot of space. And that goes for beans as well. Peas and beans. Next would be beets. Now I discovered in the spring that I actually enjoy eating beets. I like them raw and fermented a lot more than cooked for whatever reason. But they just didn't take off in my beds, and they never produced big bulbs like I wanted. Could be a soil problem. I'll have to work on that next spring. I will try them again. Tomatoes. I know lots of people grow tomatoes and love tomatoes, but for me, I don't eat that many tomatoes. Matt doesn't eat tomatoes probably at all, honestly, and they are so troublesome. You have to start them early, you have to prune them, watch out for lots of diseases and a whole gamut of pests, particularly the hornworm. Oh, those are so nasty. So they're just a real pain, quite honestly, and I'll probably still grow tomatoes. They're fun. It's very satisfying to see those tomatoes sitting on the vine and watch them turn color. But maybe not that many plants overall. leeks. Though the onions were easy, the leeks have taken an incredibly long time to mature, and I'm not sure that they're worth it in the end. I don't know, we'll see. Next is cabbages. The kind that form heads. The Chinese cabbages did great, that's a different thing. But red cabbage, the green cabbages that head up, I was not able to successfully grow that in the spring. I'm trying again from seed right now for the fall, so hopefully we'll have a long enough season for those to form. Turnips and mustard greens. I thought that I would enjoy eating those. They're pretty easy to grow, both of them. However, once I harvested them, I did not eat them and ended up throwing them in the compost, unfortunately. So I guess I won't grow those again, because if I'm not going to eat it, it's not worth it, right? Same goes for kohlrabi. For some reason, I didn't eat them. They're kind of like turnips mixed with cabbage. So if I can think of a good way to cook them, then I'll grow them again. Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are super hard to grow. I tried last year, I tried this year, fail. And I don't even like Brussels sprouts that much. So now I'm thinking, why bother with that? If I'm not gonna eat it, don't grow it. Cauliflower is sort of in the same ballpark as the cabbages, right? They take a super long time to head up, but I do want to try them again because I like cauliflower and I have a lot of uses for it in the kitchen. Flowers such as calendula and echinacea. The calendula did eventually take off, and it's still producing flowers in the front yard. However, wow, it was tough to germinate and to nurture through the spring until I got it out in the front yard. And then echinacea, for the life of me, I cannot get it to germinate. Maybe it's my seeds, so I do want to try again. I do want to grow echinacea at some point. And then last on my list here is potatoes. I don't know about sweet potatoes. My sweet potato vines are growing like crazy, and so I'm hoping that they will produce tubers, but I can't speak on that one yet. I can speak on regular potatoes. I grew the red ones, blues, Yukon Golds, and russet. And I think the problem was the grow bag. The grow bags were 2-gallon bags, and I put one potato at the bottom, and I think those bags were just too small. And there may have been some other factors as well, like light and water and soil and all sorts of things. But they just didn't produce very many tubers. The leaves didn't grow real bushy, and they became susceptible to blight fairly quickly. So my goal would be to grow potatoes somewhere else in the ground and try the hilling up method and just make sure they're really well fertilized for next time. Hope you enjoyed this video. Me, my zinnias, and this butterfly flitting around back here say bye for now.